Hi, everyone.
Hi, Thanbeer.
Hi.
Karen is here.
Yep, Karen's here.
Hi.
Hi.
How have you been?
Yeah, great. Yeah, busy getting ready for this, so I'm kind of nervous, excited. It's kind of. But yeah, great. So.
Nice.
We know
How's
the
Vienna?
feeling, Karen.
Yeah, good. The numbers are going up a bit, so you're a little more cautious every time you do anything, and so yeah, but making the best out of the situation.
Great. Same here. Numbers are going up everywhere.
I know, right? It's second wave.
Yeah, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hi, Beata. See, she's there.
Yeah.
Beata. I see
her. Is she? Yeah, she's
I'm trying to say hello to.
Hello. No,
Hi.
I'm good.
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you all?
You're fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you in Poland? I want to know if
I'm in Indonesia at the moment. No, I'm in Indonesia at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in Jakarta.
Okay.
How are things there?
I don't know. I haven't been out of the house.
Okay. All right. Hi, welcome, Nazneen. Hi, Dr. Shabash. Hi, Bina. Welcome to Education Superheroes. We're just waiting for more people to come in. While waiting, would anyone like to introduce yourselves?
Oh, yes. I'm Nazneen.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Nazneen.
Yeah, I'm Nazneen from Kuala Lumpur, of course. I'm really anxious to listen and meet every one of you. It's really great. It's really nice.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nazneen.
What do you do, Nazneen?
Oh, at the moment, I'm hunting for a job. I was retrenched for 6 months. I'm still hunting, and it's really, really very stressful. It's really stressful for me because so many years in teaching and learning for 30 years, and suddenly for 6 months, I'm retrenched, and I don't know whether I'm going to get some proper job or not. And at the same time, I'm doing my PhD research certification. Let's see. And I'm going to, I'm about to publish my new book, storybook for children. I think maybe in November or December. It's a storybooks for elementary school children.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm just
keep us posted.
Yeah, of course I'm going to. I am going to. I'm really looking forward. But at the same time, I'm hunting for a job also. That's it. This is what it's COVID-19 really give a big bang on all of us. And then we have to really tolerate it. Just wait for the moment. That's it. Be patient. Yeah, that's it.
So we do have some new people joining us today. Just to let you know what Education Superheroes is about, we're a community of teachers all here to share ideas and help each other get through the everyday struggle of logging on and being excited for 5 to 6 hours with different age groups and different levels of students. And we're not based on any one subject. We have a lot of English teachers here, but we also have teachers teaching other disciplines like biology and chemistry. So it's an interesting and exciting group of global teachers. We meet on a regular basis on Wednesdays, and we share ideas about flipped learning, authentic learning, and a lot of things that we can actually apply in the classroom. So the key to these sessions is we try to keep it as interactive as possible. And we'd really enjoy it if a lot more people contributed to these sessions. So welcome all of you to jump in at any moment and share your ideas, right? Ira?
We can't hear you, Ira.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Ira. So just following up from what Sham said, Education Superheroes is a place where we just want to get together as educators to make change, to make noise, to really make a greater impact than if we're individuals, we can do so much. As a team, we can do a lot more. So this is why we've gathered all of you here. We want all of you to contribute, to talk about what you've gone through, because different people will experience different things. Karen in Vienna would experience a different problem with compared to those in KL and those in Singapore. So we really want to know how we can actually help this entire movement of education. We want to make it exciting. We want to be cool about it. I think a lot of educators kind of find themselves in a rut sometimes. So we want to bring them out of that rut and really champion the way that education should be exciting. So really, really happy to see all of you here. I think we've met some of you. For those of you who want to say something, if I think some of you, Dr. Subhash and I are here again. Very excited to have you here again. I think he's there, but he's not there.
Hi, Subhash. Welcome to Education Superheroes. Would you like to say something to us? Or would you like to introduce yourself, who you are and where you're from? Subhash?
Hi. I'm from Qatar. I'm leading a small school following the Indian curriculum. Okay, happy to be here. All of you, to learn more.
I think we have
a few words.
We have two Subhash here. There's Subhash, Dr. Subhash Nair and Subhash Parmar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, shall we start?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's going to be a great session where we all get to interact with teachers from all around the world. We had a wonderful session on flipped classroom last week. If you missed it, worry not. We will have lots more sessions coming up next month, so stay tuned. In this program today, we will learn, or rather share, about authentic learning. It's going to be an interactive session where we want you to share your thoughts as well. Okay, anybody would like to introduce yourselves? I see a Subhash Parmar. Would anyone else would like to introduce yourselves? Where you are from, who you are. Or you can share it in the chat box if you like to. Okay. I think we've introduced Education Superheroes. So we are a group of teachers from all around the world who have come together to bring you, in fact, and all of us, an opportunity to grow our professional selves as educators and co-create solutions to revolutionize education. There's me, Thanbeer, Ira, Sham, Saira, Rama, Astha, Devesh, and Karen. Okay, we're going to start now. Let me introduce the program leads for today. Today's Authentic Learning program will be led by me, Thanbeer, and my wonderful friend, Karen. Karen, my friend, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karen Ball. I'm originally from Canada, but I've spent the last 6 years here in Vienna, beautiful, I should say, Vienna, Austria. The head of a secondary international school, but this year I've taken a year of educational leave to focus on my doctoral studies here at the University of Vienna. So first I'd like to thank Thanbeer for being such a wonderful coworker. It's been great. And I want to welcome everybody here to this session today. So I'd like to thank you all in advance for all the great contributions you're going to give, because I know that's going to happen. I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Karen. It's been great working with you as well. As for me, I'm Thanbeer. I'm an educator from Kuala Lumpur. I'm a master trainer for CFR, which stands for Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. And I've been teaching for 18 years. I've taught learners in the K-12 group, college students, I've trained teachers, I've served in ministry, and appeared on OK TV for an English language program. And we are ready to go now.
Ready? Okay.
let's start with the tentative plan for today.
Oh, I'll go back to the plan.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. So we have started with the introductions, meet and greet. We've introduced you to education superheroes. And we're going to start off with sharing experiences all about authentic learning, the what, whys, and hows. And then we're going to get into breakout rooms where we will show you a video and some pictures. And based on that, we're going to share our responses within the group. When we come up from the breakout room, we'll have a short question and answer session. And before we leave today, we're going to have a sign-off snapshot.
Okay.
Okay.
Excited.
Let's have the next slide. Okay, we've introduced ourselves. Okay, now I want everyone to look at your own learning. How did you learn things? What did you talk about? Can you type in the text box or unmute yourself and share what did you learn successfully recently? Can you share what did you learn successfully recently? Perhaps it was cooking or teaching how to teach online, learning how to teach online, or anything that you learned recently. Can you please share in the chat box or unmute yourself and share with us what did you learn recently? Something that you learned recently. Type in the chat box or unmute yourself and share with us.
So we have learning to learn. Teach online, that's a very,
Right.
I think most people went through that recently.
Learning to learn, okay. To teach online. Bina, would you like to say more? Okay, to teach online, Bina, how did you learn how to teach online? Can you just walk us through your process of learning how to teach online? Vieta.
Good evening,
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, Bina.
So all these years been like
Sorry, Bina, we can't hear you. Bina, we can't hear you.
I think while we wait for Bina to get back, I think I've gone through the same process recently. So learning how to teach online. Every lesson that I would start was always with a really powerful warmer. And my warmers were always related to theater and education. And I'd get my kids standing up, moving around and doing something before we actually started learning. The moment we switched online, there was a very limited scope for movement suddenly. And it was slightly difficult to deal with initially until I started looking for ways to improve that and to improve participatory activities or learn how to do participatory activities on Zoom. So there was
how did you learn that? How did you learn to improve that?
What
did you do?
Research is always my first goal. So I would go online and check out some of the teacher forums, read up about what other people are doing, and essentially communicate with other teachers and find out what we could do better to solve the problems that we have. So when I felt that, I couldn't do my warmers effectively the way I used to in the classroom, I went online and I found these fun warmers online meant for Zoom. And there are lots of these coming up. And I did try out one of those where you had a scavenger hunt and you would ask your kids to go and find 5 things in their bedroom that they would like to share with the group. And so that's a really good activity for the young kids to get things and come back and show it to their classmates. And then you would get them to do something with those 5 things. So you can either do an impromptu act with those 5 prompts or to kind of build a story around those 5 prompts. So there are lots of exciting things online. And I always do my research online and then try to implement it in the classroom, see if it works or not.
Okay. That's excellent, Sham. Thanks for sharing. So basically the processes that were involved in improving to teach online would be, you said you researched. Did you ask your friends as well? I think probably there's some.
Yeah, other teachers that I knew were going through the same situation. So my colleagues, and what my colleagues felt about the situation of having Japanese kids coming online. And Japanese students, even when they're in the classroom, the first few sessions, they're really quiet because that's the cultural expectation in the classroom. You're not expected to speak up too much. So how do you break that on an online platform? That was a tough one. So we did talk about it, and then we shared some ideas and got to it. So we applied it and looked for the results.
Perfect, Sham. So let's see what were the processes involved. You did research, you asked your friends, you tried it out. So let's see how this process of learning how can we relate it to authentic learning. Over to you, Karen.
Okay. Trying to control the screen and do everything just to make sure it all works out. So we got it. Okay, so now this part is 3 simple questions, but they can be quite deep. We want to look at what is authentic learning, why should we implement this, and the big one, how. That could take a 10-hour session, but we're just going to get into the bare minimum of it here. And like we said, it's an interactive approach. So, I mean, it wouldn't be very authentic if I just read out to you what authentic learning is. So maybe if someone would like to speak on their experience or the pre-reading or just some keywords, what they think authentic learning is, you can either speak or put it in the chat box and we can go from there. Fingers crossed someone does.
It's about bringing your education to real life experiences of how you can link classroom learning with in real life. So for me, that's authentic learning.
Perfect. Great answer.
Yeah, for me, simply it's bridging that gap from your textbook to whatever happens around you, because I think a lot of times people forget that the things around you can be a lesson as well.
Yes.
Something as simple as the television that you watch or the screens that you're holding, they're actually part of whatever you actually learn or whatever the textbook is trying to tell you. So yeah, that for me, I think authentic learning is really bridging that gap.
Exactly.
Between the real world and the classroom, yeah?
Yes.
For me, it is more of an experiential learning.
Mm-hmm.
So if a child is experiencing it while learning, that is authentic learning, because that is something which child will never forget.
That is true.
Very true.
And also, like, half the learning is done in the classroom itself. So when each of us, voice out our experience and share it, I think like most of the learning is done there itself.
Yeah.
What I have noticed is children learn better only if they are really interested in the process. So I always found their interest as the main factor or the motivator to learn something new. And it's a complex process. So we learn so many things every time without being aware. But what motivates us to learn new things is our interest.
Yes.
I think I agree with that. Learning without being aware that you're learning, that's quite important. Because the moment you make learning a chore, then you no longer want to do it. You want to disengage and you want to do something else. You want to do something fun. But the moment you start learning and you're not even aware that you're learning, but it's all getting processed, I think that's quite important.
Yeah, I fully agree. And in the chat box, we have very similar, meaningful for student life, learning through experience and having real issues. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to add to what I wrote, that it's meaningful to the student's life when the student can actually apply what they have learned into in a way that is fun and engaging for them, and usually involves another person, like sharing their work and their learning with an authentic audience. So that's also very important, and it becomes meaningful for them as well.
I think in the larger scale of things, I completely agree with Beata, because a lot of the things that I learned in school have no meaning in my life today.
It's very true. Okay, so this will bring us to the next part, which I think is going to be even more engaging. Why? So why has this trend went from traditional classrooms with the teacher in front, all as the information holder, assessment exams? I know this still happens, but there's a trend towards this. Why do you think this trend is becoming more popular? We just kind of touched on it a little bit.
I think Nazneen has a hand up there.
Yes,
oh, okay, thank you. I can't see everybody. Go ahead.
All right. For me, I think with my own experience and the students around me, I've noticed there is 50-50, you know, some students they don't like online studies, and some who are very shy in the classroom, who cannot, you know, when the group of students are together, they cannot question or they cannot answer. If they know the answers also, they're so hesitant, maybe because of the English as a second language, because I was teaching English as a second language, and when during the lockdown and all, we had online classes. So I've noticed that when online classes, few students who are not hesitant, who are like introvert students, they were so happy to have online classes, because sometimes they give their own personal timing and they want the teacher to be there in front of them, and they really did it very well. And the same student, when they were in the class, they cannot. I was so surprised. And certain students who they don't like online classes, because for me, even the parents, some of the parents, they don't prefer online classes, even some of the teachers. So it's not that total everyone is towards the online class. For me as a teacher, I think we have to coordinate with the students according to their willingness and according to what they like and dislike. So for being a teacher, we don't have any choice. We have to be balance ourselves. So this is what I experienced myself with my own experience. I'm talking, I don't know about other teachers, other educators, but this is what I've thought. Extrovert students, it's okay for them, but introverts are very, very, even no matter how old they are, they are really, they got something, you know, they are happy when you are online, because the own classmates are not there. They are shy to express themselves sometimes, but online they were so good, and it was a surprising thing for me. I experienced that.
And that kind of goes along with authentic learning in the way of, like we said, motivation and interest. So I understand what you're saying, that it can be quite a challenge for some students and then not for others. Can anyone else discuss about why there has been a change?
I think I would like to add what Nazneen was saying. I think the real challenge here is then online learning is to prepare authentic learning tasks. Even online, we have to do that. And that's why we're gathering here today, to discuss that, you know, that how do we make the learning online or in the classroom more authentic. Like Shami was saying that, you know, you had a purpose to find out. You wanted to learn how to teach online more effectively, and you did the research, you talked to people. So we have got to bring these processes into the classroom to make it more authentic, so that the engagement is higher, because, you know, we've got to give them a real purpose. We've got to give them, we've got to arouse their interest when there's a real purpose.
Yeah, and 21st century skills always comes to my mind when I think about authentic learning. Learning about teamwork, learning how problem solving, all of these things that come through on authentic learning is something quite important for these children's futures. In most jobs that they're going to have, it's not going to be a lot of rote memory and things like that they're going to do. They're going to be working in teams, working online, and all of this. So that's part of my passion for it, is looking at what the kids are going to need for their future. Okay, I'm going to stop talking so much and maybe switch to the how parts. Yes. So how is quite a big subject. So in October, we'll get through a bit more of that, but I'm going to help a little bit by showing this next slide. So this slide is 12 elements of authentic learning. So I'm just going to give you a second to have a look through, and if you need clarification on what any of them are, just let me know, because I have my trusty notes here as well. So if anybody, let's have a look through.
Anybody would like to talk about any of these elements?
Like if you want any clarification.
I had a wonderful experience with the integration of subjects or connected academics, which you have put
Yes.
down there. So it was a very interesting lesson which my kids' school did, and I came to know through them about it. It was about, they were doing some geography project with on migration issues. And they went and interviewed some migrant people who are a migrant community who work in people's homes to make a living, and find out about their culture, and how many people migrate from every year. So there was a lot of there was geography, there was say a bit of math and statistics. They had to create all that, and they actually learned a lot of things that way. So I definitely feel that's the way to go, like the way we demarcate subjects. It's quite a barrier to learning in any sense. I mean, yes, authentic learning is definitely there, but when you say, okay, this is math, this is physics, this is history, but you've got a bit of everything in life. So you can't like really demarcate everything, saying, okay, this is not physics, that is not math out here. So I think that makes a lot of sense, that kind of integration.
Mm-hmm. For me,
I had a lot of experience with portfolios. At my school, we had ESL classes as well, and I taught them for over 20 years. And we finished the year with students making portfolios from all of the work that they have collected in their folders. They would choose 6 pieces based on a variety of criteria that we would give them, and then share those portfolios with their friends. Their friends would actually write them a letter about their portfolio. They would share the portfolio with their parents, and their parents would write their letter of appreciation. And then they would also sit in a group at school in class and share that with other students, other classes. We would mix classes, and we would also invite teachers, administrators, counselors, coaches, anybody who had a free block at the time when we were organizing this, and they were reflecting on what they had learned and why they have chosen the pieces, what they learned from them, how they would be able to improve them in some way, or what they learned that they would then later be able to apply in a different subject, in a different scenario, in a different world. So this went on for at least 20 years. And then moved into digital portfolios as well. I moved that to digital portfolios. So a very, very powerful way of ending the year and giving students a possibility of, really deeply understanding what have I learned and how I can apply it later on. How am I going to use this later on?
That's great. I also use portfolios for parent-teacher evenings and things like that as well, because then the students explain their work and how they've done, and it takes a lot of heat off the teachers, but it's great to have them there as well, explaining, look, this is what I did. And yeah, it's an excellent thing I've used quite a bit as well.
I think a really good experience of authentic learning that I've had personally was when I was doing my master's in literature. We had a compulsory internship, and the internship led to the creation of a portfolio. So I interned at a school, and I had to note down everything that happened during the entire month of internship, and at the end of it, presented to my class and get feedback. So that was a good way of really experiencing on the ground work experience, and then discussing it and writing something about it later on. I think it's done in higher education settings a lot, but I think we should start doing it at the school level, where kids can be encouraged to take on something that they're passionate about, explore the field, and then make informed choices about their future. Interestingly, the new national education policy that has been set out for India has a component that deals with an internship type of learning system where students can interact with masters of certain trades in their locality, and the community gets more involved in the learning experience. So that's something that we're looking forward to. It's there in the policy, and we want to see how it can get implemented.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, getting the community involved. Right. Wonderful. Okay, so before I move on quickly, I'll just say, yes, there's 12 elements, and especially if you're new to planning anything with authentic learning, 12 elements is a lot of elements to add in right away. So, you know, some of these things are not less important, but as you get more experience with authentic learning, you can add that in. So I just don't want to, you know, overwhelm people thinking they have to have all 12 of these aspects every single time. Okay, now I'm going to hand back over to Thanbeer for the next part. Here we go. To the breakout rooms.
Okay, yes, we've been waiting for this. We had an exciting breakout session last week, so we're going to do it again. We are going to be, Ira, my darling, where are you? Ira is going to bring us into our breakout rooms. She will divide us into our breakout rooms. And what are we going to do in the breakout rooms? We are going to watch a video and look at some pictures, and then we have some questions prepared. We're going to discuss what we've seen based on looking at the questions, and the questions will guide us in our discussions. So are we ready?
Give me a second. I'll break people up. I'll break all of you up into maybe 2 groups.
Okay.
Sure.
Just 2 smaller groups. Let's see. Oh dear. Okay, wait. There we go.
So basically, we're going to look at more authentic learning through the video and the pictures, and we are going to talk about it.
Okay, let's see.
Mark, you were saying something about a teaching methodology that you use. Would you like to talk about it?
Sorry, I studied about CLIL, which is content learning. Wait, let me think. I can't remember it that much because I learned about it. It's called content and language integrated learning. What it means is that basically what you do, like for me, in my context, I teach English as a second language in China. Basically what it does is that you use the language, the target language that you want in terms of, let's say, teaching history or science or math, instead of focusing on the language itself. So you're not focusing on the language, but you are focusing on a content that uses the language. So students indirectly learn the language, but I think those are a bit, I mean, this CLIL is a bit more difficult, I mean, for lower level learners. I think it'll work for learners that already have some experience with English. Like for in my context, I am not able to use it because I'm teaching primary level students. So I'm not really sure about how you will use it in your context, but for me, I don't think I'm able to implement it yet here because I'm in China and I teach 3rd year grade 3 students, which I think it is a bit difficult when they can't speak the language so much.
Okay. Do you see that these elements of authentic learning can be placed in your classroom?
For me, yes, but how do I say, in China, it will be a bit more difficult because one, the internet is censored here. So if you don't have a proper VPN or a good VPN, it's impossible for you to access resources. Even YouTube, it's difficult to get in. So, you know, so you can implement it, but there's a lot of work and you can't access a lot of resources in China. And I think that's the main problem here. You can't access resources, which is difficult in China.
I see.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
that's
Ira?
sorry, just before we go into a breakout, just coming back to Mark, right? I think that's the
Yes.
beauty of what we're doing here is the fact that, you know, like I said, different people are facing different issues, right? So I am pretty sure we can all of us collectively with our incredible experiences, we can come up with something for Mark, you know, or with Mark, you know, collaborate something with Mark to help to work something out that will help China or the Chinese students there. So I think that is the beauty of it, that we can always come back to. And Mark, I will be looking forward to talking to you more about that.
Great, thanks.
Yeah,
so
we still can create some authentic tasks, and we would love to work with you in the coming weeks.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so
Great,
we'll
thank you.
break out into the session.
All
now.
right, we're
It's
ready
2
to go into breakout rooms. Okay.
Yes. So
we click join.
Yes.
Okay. Founder of Authentic Learning, and another one from a very famous person. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Okay, this word still has so much of relevance till today, especially in today's classroom. So let's have anyone who would like to summarize or talk about what did you discuss about authentic learning. Please share with us now. Please unmute yourself and share. You'd like to summarize what was your discussion about, or certain things that you saw in the video. Anyone? Yetta?
That's a lot already.
Oh, okay.
It actually develops the students' skills, and they get the opportunity as well. And then they can come up with a lot of creativity as well. So through that, students can get the opportunity to, you know, learn from different ways.
Yeah, our group had I'm not sure if we all watched the same video about the shopping bags that the kids were.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so in our group we talked about the ways that the students were applying all kinds of skills to create that the outcome, and that was organizing themselves, putting the film together, editing, making choices, negotiating, all of that for a purpose as well. So we talked about, you know, purposeful and meaningful, a project that allows them to feel like we're doing this for a purpose, and therefore the learning is really very authentic because it's real for them.
Yes.
And then to achieve the end product, they know that they're I mean they pass a lot of different various steps. So through these various steps, now for example, they will be learning leadership skill, managing it, respecting other people's ideas. So much they will be learning through this authentic activity.
So it does mirror the real life tasks that we do every day in life, isn't it? So that's why, you know, we are ready for authentic learning. We have to bring such experiences, more of these experiences, into the classroom. But they are they're time consuming, and we will talk about the challenges later. And in my room, we were talking about one, I think, was it Bina, that in her classroom they got students to write thank you cards for others, and it seems most of them chose to write thank you cards for teachers. So there is also authentic learning there, where you're making cards for real people and you're going to give to real people. So it makes it very purposeful. Anyone else would like to?
I've just shared a link of it's about a kind of authentic learning experience at a school that I interned with, where students of an entire section, so the primary section and the secondary section, etc., would have a canteen day where it would be a massive potluck, but the students would actually sell what they cook and bring, and they'd use that money for something meaningful. So if you take a look at that picture, you can see how kids have gotten into the roles that they are portraying, and these are really young children with the master chef hat that they've made out of paper. So what I liked about this initiative and how it's unique, because Thanbeer mentioned that it takes a lot of time, and very often if it happens in cycles, it's a lot more effective. When one set of kids gain certain skills during the first cycle, they'll be able to teach those experiences to the other groups. And then during the next cycle, they could assume those roles. So it's really continuing these experiences over a period of time and creating these experiences, across levels. So it doesn't even have to be within a classroom. It could be throughout the whole school. It'll give students an opportunity to interact with other students, with teachers in other departments or sections, and it'll really open up their experience of being at school. So that's what I really liked about this example that I've shared with you. And that's kind of what we were talking about, creating an involved situation where the student feels invested in their learning process. And that's really not just on the teacher in terms of rapport building, it's on the entire school and the entire community to build within those children the feeling that they belong together and they can achieve great things together.
Thank you.
Indeed,
Thanks, that's
indeed.
great.
So shall we move on to the next slide, Karen?
Yes, yeah, we're getting low on time, so I'll go through. So quickly, I just wanted to add some academic research to this to just show some stuff that's been done on authentic learning. This study I found quite helpful for me in my planning of authentic learning. So it comes from Audrey Rule, and the title is The Components of Online Learning. And what she did was she studied journal articles that had any kind of research done in classrooms on authentic learning. So it could have been at junior school, high school, anything. And what she wanted to know was what was common between all of these classrooms doing authentic learning. So I think she looked at over 50 studies and she found 4 common themes. And so if I look at them quickly here, it's real world, which we talked about, open-ended, interdisciplinary, we talked about that, social, collaboration, and empowered by choice. So for me, this was a great way to look at when I'm doing my planning, am I including these things? And it's a good starting point. So I think sometimes the research can be dense, but when you look at the conclusion, you come out like, oh, this is a great way to show that authentic learning kind of covers these 4 areas no matter where it's happening. So that can be as simple as what's going on in your classroom, or if you take the kids out into the real world. So yeah, this was great for me to start.
Yeah, and it can be done in stages. Yeah, maybe like
Exactly.
as simple as writing an email. We can get them to write real emails to each other. So that's moving towards authentic learning. So you can start with smaller little tasks that are more authentic, and then move up to more sort of include more authentic elements into it.
Exactly.
Let me tell you a story. Can I take a minute to tell you a quick story about emails?
Yes.
Back in 1996, when internet started, nobody had email addresses, and I think it was maybe in 1997 or 8 or 9, I can't remember when. I had my class do a little project, and they wanted to do something about, you know, interesting people who have achieved something. And I said, okay, well, find somebody on the internet. I think that Yahoo was the only way that you could search, and they found some people. And then I said, well, you know, how about writing to them? And so we crafted emails, and we looked at, you know, the structure of the email, and lo and behold, every single child got an email back from people that I was stunned. I was stunned who they emailed. There was a person who had gone on a yacht around the world and, you know, somehow managed to answer. And there was an email that came 2 months later after we did the project, but the child was just so excited. I got that email, that person's, you know, sent it back to me. It was amazing. It was such an amazing thing. And it was a new thing as well for them. So it was authentic learning that was really very powerful and meaningful for the kids.
Right, Beata. Yes. When we start using authentic tasks, we can really see them, you know, gearing up, and the energy comes and fills to the classroom. And suddenly, those who have been playing and doodling are suddenly, oh yes, what's happening? What am I going to do? You know, you will see real results.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beata.
Great. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Thanbeer.
Yes. Possible challenges, as we were talking about, that you know, bringing authentic learning and authentic tasks into the classroom are going to come along with some challenges with any kind of learning that you're going to try to introduce in the classroom. Anybody would like, okay, we haven't got much time. I guess we'll keep this for the next session that we'll have. In our next session next month, we are definitely going to talk about the possible challenges that we face based on Karen and my experiences and how we overcome them. And we would love to hear from all of you what challenges you faced and how you overcome them. It's very important because when we do different kinds of authentic learning, there will be different challenges, and how do we overcome them to ensure that these activities that we're carrying out will be effective and successful.
Thanks. I really look forward to that coming up in October. All right. I think we're at question time. We're getting low on time. So if you do have a question now, you can pop it to us. If not, you can always contact us, LinkedIn, email, anything you want, and we'll be happy to support and answer to the best of our abilities.
Yes, I think just a little bit before we end, when it comes to authentic learning and everything else, because we have gone through, I think, 4 different types of pedagogy. What I kind of conclude from today is that I don't think there's just one pedagogy that we should always just focus on. I think it's a combination of everything. Somebody said it in my group just now. The combination of authentic learning and a flipped classroom would actually help certain different classrooms. So it's fantastic to know that everyone has like all these different experiences. So I really enjoyed the part where, you know, we break out and then we get into go into a little bit more detail. So that's great.
Wonderful. Do you want to stay on the line, Ira? Because I think you're up next for
As much as I would love to talk about Let's Flip, I know we are running out of time. Or actually, we have ran out of time. So I really thank everyone who is still here. Let's Flip is an app that SCORE Campus is working on, and we want to get people involved in this. Our iOS has actually, the link has actually just been sent to us, and it is actually working. So what I really want to do is send out this link to all of you, and I want to let you try the app itself, whether you're Android or the iOS. It'd be good for you to just put it in here. I'll get a record of it, and then I'll send you the correct links, so that, you know, if you're an Android user, you download with this link. If you're an iOS user, you download with this link. It is very simple to use. You just have to go on and kind of explore and just give us your comments, give us your feedback. I think that's very important for us to get your feedback. Okay, so just drop whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user in the group chat, in the chat, and then I will do all of that once we're done with this. Sounds good?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes.
I can't wait. Okay, I think. Okay, very quickly too, we have a session on October 7th, and it's a preview to situational learning. So I'm very excited for this. Is there anything we wanted to add to this part? It probably will only be an hour and not go over like ours, but
yeah, please join us again next week for this another interesting session on situational learning.
All the recordings will be sent to you, and this invite will be sent to you as well, so you won't forget.
Perfect. And there we go. We just want to say a big thank you for your participation and your experience. It was a lovely event, so I'm quite happy. Thank you, Thanbeer, again. I'm going to thank you 1,000 times, I'm sure.
Thank you to Karen. We are so happy that this has happened, and I think we're ready for a snapshot now.
Yes.